Okay, sorry. All right.
And,
I've never recorded this long on this phone. So.
Yeah. So with that in mind, it just allows the groomer to just remember whatever their setting normally is.
Yeah.
So if they have to do something different for some reason, they can come back and get it, find their sweet spot.
That's great.
Because
Makes
these
a lot of
systems
sense.
do have a sweet spot, and once you find that, you want to be there most of the time and not really have to tinker with it much.
Sure.
Because we're looking for bathing temperature water. We're not looking for hot water.
Right.
So
So now, can those just stay at whatever? Because
whatever you find works. Now, in this one, I could not tell you because I did not get to do actually get this set, because usually most of them is usually full hot and about 1 o'clock. So it's about 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock.
So my question is, this is about the temperature, not about on off. So
This is just about temperature.
So you could leave those.
It turns off and on
right
just from
there.
the
Off
faucet.
and on is from the faucet. It's
So
from the
as
nozzle.
the nozzle. So as
Got
you're
it.
spraying, the pump turns off and on automatically, just like you
Okay.
have in the baby in your wagon tail.
Well, see, in the wagon tails, we have a thingy to turn the water actually on and off. So we have to turn the water off and on, and then it comes to the nozzle with this.
Yeah.
That's just temperature, and the nozzle is
Yeah,
on
well,
and
you
off.
still have that switch over here, but the only time you're going to use that is when you run out of water and the pump doesn't want to turn off by itself. Because
okay.
while you've got water in the tank, it'll always turn itself off and on its own.
Okay.
I'm going to. You might want to pause it a second. I want
Okay.
to. I want to cool it. So I just turned on the pump to force the coolant to move. And so if the engine's still warm enough, I may actually have some warm water.
Okay, so now what we're doing, so when you're running the water, it's going to automatically fill up the bottom of the tub.
Yeah, what you want to do? There we go.
Okay.
I actually do. Yeah, I do actually have some warm water. Actually, this is about the temperature I like the baby dog in. It's just barely warm. And there's a reason for that, but that's really good. That's really good right now. So anyway, you fill it up to about here for most dogs.
Okay.
And then you add some of your shampoo directly to the tub.
Just want people to notice that the nozzle clicks right into the side there.
Into
Okay.
the clip, and also the bather kind of stays up here out of the way too. And as long as this is hanging like this, you don't have to worry about the bathing system getting an odor to it, because you know how with the super suds over the weekend, it can get really
Oh, when
nasty.
people don't clean it.
If this is hanging, you'll never have a sour smell come out of this. Now, the only time you'll get a sour smell out of this is if somebody leaves the hose laying down in the tub.
Okay.
And it has some of the last bath water in it, because this is the one thing that doesn't really get rinsed out while you're rinsing a dog off. Everything else does, but that's why we like for it to hang, so it just drains itself out.
And so if it does get that odor in it, what do we do to clean that out?
Fill this about halfway, and throw a cup of vinegar in it.
Okay.
And then just turn it on and let it recirculate.
And so that's going to just continue coming through that.
Yeah,
part.
and it
it'll
also
clean
help
it.
break up some of the conditioners, some of the waxes and stuff that's in the
We should probably do that on a
conditioners.
regular basis anyway. How
Most
often would
groomers
we
do that
the?
at the end of the day.
So the vinegar at the end of the day, just
And
to
I've got some
keep
that
it
just
clean.
want to be really picky with it, and they do it in between every groom. I wouldn't waste my time doing that. I just do it at the end of the day.
Okay.
And then and no less than once a week.
Okay.
Because the way this thing drains, because I actually sold one of these to the University of Georgia's veterinary school, and the professor that I was working with on this, because he was getting a clipper vacuum system installed for the surgical prepping area of like 6 or 7 stations, and he asked me about this, and I brought up a point to him that I've had groomers that would say, "Oh, I don't want to use that because it's recirculating dirty water, and what about for the next groom?" He said, "Well, they use soap, right?" I said, "Yes." He said, well, if they're using soap, there's nothing in there that's going to transfer to the next dog because
Right.
it's bound up by the soap."
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, what about like fleas and stuff like that? They drown." You know, and then with this draining, it's also going to allow any of the waters from the last dog to go ahead and go out. But if you want to, you can always rinse these things out, do a little cleaning in between. And
How do you
it's just-
drain all that water out of there?
Okay, now to drain it, we do not have like a regular plug drain or a stopper. We have a pump. This is the secret to why this truck is as small as it is, because our tank is this tall. So how can we drain up? So what we do is so now we're pumping the water, which is going to be faster than gravity drain.
Look how fast that's draining.
And now when you're rinsing a dog, you're not going to see much movement. So you usually want to let it start draining some, then start rinsing the dog. Now I want to make a point here. Now is a good time to stop draining before it gets all the way down. If you've got a sound sensitive dog, just look, if they're not standing in water because you've got your little rack in here, and I don't really care too much for the racks because you already have the water draining off this way anyway, but you have a mat or something they're standing on. If the water's not up here, why worry about draining all the water out while the dog's in the tub? So you may want to, once you finish rinsing, and even if that's partially full, leave it and then finish draining after the dog's out of the tub.
And so would you finish draining also with the vinegar in there? You drain with that? Or
Yeah, you can
with
drain
that?
with the vinegar too later. But here's the reason why, and I'm going to go ahead and let it do it. It basically gets to where it wants to kind of bark.
Right.
And it doesn't do it as much while you got soapy water rather than just pure fresh water like I have right now. But you do want to be aware that toward the end of the drain, it does start to make some sound.
Okay.